Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is John Vine, and what we're going to be talking about today is why you should not major in computer science. Now, I personally got a computer science degree and I felt it was the right decision for me, but that's not always the case, especially these days when there's so many other ways to learn how to code, especially you can be self-taught, you can learn online, there's tons of free resources. I did, and for me, it was the right decision, but you really have to have the right reasons, and that's what we're going to talk about today. If you like the content, feel free to like and subscribe, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. So my personal experience, I went to the University of Waterloo in Canada. It's one of the top universities for computer science here, and it was a great decision for me. You know, it helped me get a great job. I had a ton of internships that really prepped me for the real world, and I always say this, but I learned a lot more on the job than I did in school. That being said, there's several reasons why you shouldn't major in computer science, and that's what I want to talk about today. The first reason is if you only want to major in computer science, to become a developer for the money. Now, money is a great motivation. It's one of the reasons, I initially chose to study computer science because I had no idea what I wanted to study. And I felt like, if I study computer science, I learned how to code, I can get a career that, would pay me well. And that is what ended up happening. However, if money is your only motivation, when you're going to be studying, the thing is, there's going to be tons of assignments when you're learning how to code, when you're going through a computer science degree, and when you're going to be studying, when it's going to be 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and you're going to be completing these projects that, are very frustrating and you don't know how to do them, money's not going to be what motivates you, right? What you have to do to maintain consistency and to actually learn how to code and graduate in your degree is develop a passion and actually enjoy coding. Think about it. Once you graduate, right? You're going to be a software developer, you're going to be a software engineer for 10, 20, 30, who knows how many years you decide to pursue this career. And if you don't really enjoy coding, if you don't like development, then you're not going to like your job. From my experience, obviously learning computer science, there was a ton of coding involved, and we had a ton of assignments, and many times me and my friends would be spending hours and hours, learning how to code, solving complex problems, and it was really hard to find the motivation. And if my only motivation at this time was money, I would have given up such a long time ago, and I don't think I would have gotten a degree. What I did was, as I learned how to code, I really realized that, I really enjoyed it, I worked more on it, and developed a passion for it that I otherwise wouldn't have had if the only reason I joined this program was to make more money, right? Don't get me wrong, money can be an amazing motivator, money can be a great reason to start doing it, but it really can't be the only motivation you have. If you guys like this kind of content, let me know down below, leave a comment if you guys like this kind of content. And if we can get this video to 50 likes, I'll make some more content about how to succeed as a computer science major and why a computer science major is the best degree you can have. Let me know if you guys want that content, and like I said, if we can get to 50 likes, I'll make a video covering those topics. Second reason why you shouldn't major in computer science is because there's a lot of math. If you don't like math, it's going to make it a lot harder to complete your degree. Because in my first 2 years of my computer science degree, right, there was a ton of math I had to take. There was linear algebra 1 and 2, calculus 1 and 2, stats 1 and 2, one of which I ended up failing because it was, insanely hard. But the point is, the first 2 years of your degree, there's going to be a ton of math, and if you hate math, if you're not good at math, you're probably not gonna, finish the courses, pass the courses, or end up graduating either. Now, you might think these math courses are irrelevant, right? Why do I have to take algebra? Why do I have to take calculus? Statistics kind of makes sense because it's like a different way of thinking. But what these courses teach you is how to problem solve. They teach you how to think like a developer, especially things like proofs that you learn in algebra. It really teaches you to think in an abstract way that, in hindsight, is definitely necessary to become a software engineer. But again, I'm saying this again, if you're very bad at math, if you don't like math at all, I would recommend against going into computer science because you simply will not succeed. In the real world, you don't really need that much math to become a software engineer. In my full-time, in my job, in my day-to-day, I rarely use the math I did in school, but it's pretty important as a foundation to, get the ball rolling and really get you thinking like a developer so that you can succeed when you actually get into the workforce. Now, I wasn't amazing at math, right? I wasn't that good at math, and I was pretty good in high school, but when I got to university, I really wasn't incredible at math, but I managed to get through it. I passed it. Like I mentioned, I failed my first course, which was stats, but I kept pushing through, and once I was done, the thing is, once you're done the math that is necessary, you can take more courses if that's what interests you, but once you're done, you can just focus on coding and just take the software engineering courses that you want so that you can learn and succeed to become a software engineer. The third reason why you shouldn't be majoring in computer science is because there's a stupid amount of work, right? There's tons of assignments, and you're going to end up making a lot of sacrifices that, maybe if you're another degree, you wouldn't have to make. Now, I'm not going to sit here and jerk off like that computer science is the best the best degree, the hardest degree ever. But you know, there was a lot of assignments. I think I had like 3 or 4 assignments per week that I had to do, and as a result I had to make some sacrifices that other friends of mine didn't have to make. And if you're the type of person that is going to go to college, you know, just looking to party, and you know, that really wants that kind of lifestyle, then if going to computer science, you have to understand that you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. Now that being said, you know, I still had a great time in college. Like, I did like party a lot, I went out with my friends a lot, and you can definitely have like that much fun if you work hard and you like make and plan your time correctly. But you know, there's still a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. Like I said before, me and my friends, you know, many nights we had assignments that we had no idea how to complete them. We'd be working until 1, 2 a.m. very often, and on our computer science assignments, on our math assignments. And honestly, like looking back, they were so hard, and it took like maybe 10-15 hours to complete one assignment. And now put this into perspective, you have 3 or 4 a week, so it's like a full-time job. You're working on the assignments, maybe even more. Really, you have to understand what you're getting yourself into when you start a computer science degree. Now that being said though, I had a lot of friends that were in engineering, stuff like that, mechanical, software engineering, programs, management engineering, and you know, that was a much more structured program. I feel like they had like 8 hours of class a day on top of many assignments, and in my opinion, that is like a much more difficult program. So you know, computer science, after all is said and done, it's not the worst. You know, you can definitely still party, like do everything, and have a lot of free time, but you will have to make a lot of sacrifices. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe below, leave a like and comment. Let me know if there's anything you disagree with, if there's anything you think I got wrong, or you know, if there's anything you think I missed. Now, another reason why you shouldn't major in computer science is if you're afraid of failure. If you're afraid that, you know, you're gonna go to college and you're gonna fail your degree, or you're gonna fail a course, and you have this anxiety all the time that, oh my God, my marks dropped by like 10%, what am I gonna do? You know, I don't think this is the program for you. Now, let me give you a little backstory. Like in high school, I was like, you know, straight A student, everything. And getting into college, I remember on our first day in our program, our professor was like, okay, your average is going to drop 30%. Like it's normal for it to drop 20 to 30%. And I was like, no way, right? Like I'm so much smarter than this. What is going on? Fast forward, first semester, my average was like 30% lower than what it was in high school, right? So it's definitely very hard. And if you know, failing a course, if getting bad marks is something that, you know, makes you upset and it's gonna like ruin your motivation, then I don't think this is the program for you. Another statistic is that in my program at the University of Waterloo, I think almost 30% of freshmen don't end up actually graduating, right? So a third of students end up failing out. Like, you have to understand that it's a hard course. There's a chance that you fail out, and obviously it's like that with anything. But you really have to not be afraid of failing a course, of having to redo a course. I had to redo, I think, 2 or 3 courses in my degree. Never thought I'd have to do that, and it was obviously hard, and you know, it feels bad because you have to, you know, basically redo what you just did for the past 4 months. But if this is something that scares you, if this is something that's gonna, you know, make you give up and stop, you know, trying to learn how to code and stop trying to become a software engineer, then I don't think this is the right program for you. I've talked about this before on my channel, and you have to be able to fail. You have to expect failure. You have to be ready and embrace it, not try to run away from it, because you're gonna fail regardless, and you want to learn from your mistakes, not just avoid them and run away, right? Like, there's no point. When I graduated, I had like a 2.8 or a 2.7 GPA, right? You might think that's bad. I was pretty proud of it because it was super hard for me. At the beginning, I didn't think I would graduate. I had very little hopes, but then I ended up finishing. And although my marks weren't the best, I was still very proud because it was really hard for me. So guys, like, it's going to be really hard. Your marks are going to drop, but you know, you can't lose motivation, and this program is going to challenge you. But if you try hard, if you persevere, you know, there's no reason why you can't succeed, right? So guys, if you like the video, feel free to like and subscribe below. Leave a comment if you think there's anything I missed, anything you disagree with, or if there's anything you want to add to why you shouldn't get a computer science degree. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.